Hi, I'm Jess Pressland, the CEO of the JP Group. I've been developing managers for over 20 years. In this podcast, I'm going to be sharing my stories and insights to where leaders get it wrong and what they can do to get it right, wherever you are in your leadership journey. In this episode, we're going to be looking at why kind leadership is not weak leadership. Well, actually, where I'm going to start is around the myth of actually what kind leadership is. It's misunderstood because being kind isn't soft. Okay, so we talk about the right thing to do at work and kindness. I'll share a story with you for this one because I see lots of examples of where people in the workplace, where managers are not succeeding and they're failing with this because they're doing things that they think's right, but it's actually not kind. So let me give you an example of body odor. It's like, I can't tell you how many people over the years have said to me, Jess, how do I deal with body odor? It's a difficult conversation that no one wants to have. I work a lot in engineering and facilities management sectors, and managers would say, oh, I've got this issue around body odor. And then they tell me, oh, but it's fine. I've dealt with it, Jess, because I've just thrown a deodorant at them, or I've plonked a deodorant at them at a team meeting, and they've done it quite visually in front of lots of people. And they think, well, that's fine. I've just told them they stink. Even in a Christmas Secret Santa, we've given them deodorant. And they think that's right because I've told them that they stink. And then I challenge that because that is not the right thing to do. And what they haven't done is they haven't approached that person directly on a one-to-one basis, which would be the kind thing to do. Actually, publicly talking about that is actually really quite embarrassing for somebody. So actually, kind leadership isn't soft. It's actually far tougher because most people would say they don't want to have that conversation. So actually, it's far harder to be kind and have a one-to-one and take that person aside and give a real conversation, because most people don't know how to have that conversation. And they say, well, Jess, well, how do I have that conversation? Well, you have that conversation by telling them that you've noticed it, ask if there's any reasons for it. And if not, you talk about the impact of that, because if you work in a shared space and you work with clients, why that's an issue. And then you move it forward with what can we do to support you? Because it could be as simple as my washing machine's broken down and I need more polo shirts at work. So there's an outcome, but it's not throwing somebody a deodorant. It's making them aware that there's an issue, making them aware that that actually does impact other people and supporting them in doing something differently. That's kind leadership. So the kindness is actually, let's tackle those things privately the right way, and that we understand people's situations. That isn't then about people having their own way. I always talk about, like in management, there are 3 F's of management: firmness, friendly, and fair. The firmness is that actually we are there to do a job. So you still manage expectations. I'm still will give clarity on what I expect of people. We still have a performance. Leadership isn't about being someone's friend. It's about behaving in a way that makes you approachable. So I want to have the behavior where my team members will come to me, they discuss subjects with me, not that I'm position myself as this scary person that no one can talk to me. So you don't want to be so authoritarian that like no one's going to come near you. And it isn't that open door policy all of the time either. It's that I'm friendly in my approach so that actually I have a good relationship and my team open up to me. But there is a firmness because I am still there to ensure that they drive performance. So I'm very clear around expectations. So I think it's almost like a balance. I make sure that no one's treated more preferably than anyone else. That's the fairness of it. There is a firmness because they are there to do a job. And I balance that friendly, which way perhaps the kindness would come into that friendly kind. And that's about making sure that you build good relationships with your team members to get the best out of them. And that as a leader, you're approachable, so that you have a really good understanding of what's actually going on in the workplace. And I think people misinterpret the word friendly as I'm their mate. And there's a big difference. I'm friendly in my approach. I smile, I'm interested in my team members. And there's that balance between I'm genuinely interested and I'm a friendly person. I am also have very clear expectations of a delivery of performance. For consistency, I think it's about core messages. I think that quite often where organisations go wrong is it's not recognised. So I think training is part of it, for sure that people actually need to understand. So I think you need to get consistency in organisation. We need to train people, but training alone is not enough. What we need to do is we need to set and we need to benchmark it. It needs to be linked in with our values of an organisation. And those behaviours need to be recognised. And actually, if we're doing these things, it actually drives high performance and retention. So there's lots of measures that it's going on in the workplace through surveys and so forth. So start with your training, your consistency, and then making sure that you're following through with it in the fact that it turns up in our senior leaders. It's role modelled consistently throughout an organisation. So it's not just tell people to do it. It's being done throughout. It becomes part of your culture of how we actually approach people. And that happens if it gets recognised and rewarded as behaviour. Thank you for listening to this episode. Visit our website, thejpgroup.org, the podcast page, where you can download our workbook that accompanies this series for you to take what you've heard and put it into practice.